Hello and welcome to an episode of Therapy That Matters. I am Dr. Chris Freitag with Lavaca County Chiropractic in Hallettsville, Texas. And in these episodes, I try to show you some simple tips and tricks that you can use at home to help alleviate some aches and pains and symptoms that you may be experiencing. One very common symptom that we see very frequently in our office is numbness in the entire hand and potentially in the entire arm. Very commonly, the symptom that you're dealing with is called Thoracic Outlet Syndrome. So thoracic outlet syndrome, as I mentioned, is characterized by numbness in the entire hand and potentially the entire arm. That's one very common symptom of it. Unfortunately, this gets misdiagnosed very often as carpal tunnel syndrome, which also can cause numbness and pain in the hand. The difference is that carpal tunnel syndrome classically only affects either the thumb, the index, or the middle finger, or all of the above. It does not affect the pinky or the ring finger. And so very oftentimes, though, it gets misdiagnosed as carpal tunnel syndrome, even though an individual may be experiencing numbness in the entire hand, which is not possible for carpal tunnel syndrome because the nerve that is affected by carpal tunnel syndrome does not have any effect on the pinky or the ring finger. But thoracic outlet syndrome comes from a compression that happens higher up in the thoracic outlet that is in the shoulder. So you have the nerves that come out of the neck and they travel through the shoulder to control the arm. You also have the blood vessels that come from the heart that travel through that same outlet in the shoulder, the thoracic outlet, and then bring the blood flow into the hand. Now, most commonly, the compression that happens with thoracic outlet is a compression that affects the blood vessels, and so the numbness in the entire arm and hand is due to the blood being restricted into the upper extremity. It can affect the nerves, but most commonly it actually affects the blood vessels. So, what can you do to alleviate this? Actually, let's talk about one of the symptoms besides the numbness that I said, entire hand, entire arm. Most commonly, people experience this when they're sleeping at night, and it can happen either when you're laying on the shoulder, and that puts a compression on that outlet, which compresses the vessels that go into the arm and hand. So it can happen when you're laying on the shoulder. It can also happen on the shoulder that's up, just because it's up, and again, it's coming across the body and compressing that outlet as well. So very commonly, at night, sleeping is when people experience this, and it will actually wake them up, and their arm is just completely dead, and they have to just get up and move around, and then it generally finally helps and goes away. Another common time people experience this is while driving. Their hands up on the steering wheel, and as a result of them reaching forward to hold onto the steering wheel, their body's usually tense because you're driving and you're trying to keep control of the car, and that rolling of the shoulder and tightness of the chest muscles creates a compression again on those vessels as they travel into the arm and creates the thoracic outlet syndrome. So what can you do to alleviate this? Stretching out the pectoral muscles, the muscles of the chest. You have two main muscles of the pectoral muscles, the pectoralis major and the pectoralis minor. So we want to stretch both of those to help open up the shoulders, open up the outlet, take the pressure off of those vessels to alleviate the symptoms that you are experiencing. So to do this, you simply want to use a corner. Works great because you can, if you have a nice 90-degree corner somewhere, you can stretch both shoulders at the same time. A doorway is nice. You can also put your arms up on the doorway because this is what it looks like. You have two stretches. The first one, you want to put your arms so that they're 90 degrees right here, okay? Take both of them, rest your forearm against the wall. Your arms are up here at 90 degrees, and then you're going to lean your body and your chest into the corner. All right, and as you do that, that's going to open up the chest. You're going to feel a stretch right through the pectoralis major, and helping open that up, you want to hold that stretch then for at least 30 seconds. It should be comfortable. You may feel a little burn into the muscle, but it should not be any sharp pains with it. It's also possible as you open and stretch that out, sometimes it will actually affect and irritate that numbness a little bit. So don't be discouraged if you do feel a little bit of that numbness. Now, next stretch that you want to do is to affect the pectoralis minor. To do that, you want to bring the arms up a little bit higher. Same thing into the corner. You're going to see I'm going to put my hands on the wall and then again leaning into the corner. So it looks like this. My hands are up on the wall, kind of a big Y shape with my arms, leaning into the corner and feeling that stretch through the chest, and you'll most likely should feel that one a little bit more into the underarm, okay? That's the two stretches. 30 seconds at least with each of those positions. Work with that consistently. If this is something that's bothering you, you want to do this a couple times a day, especially before you drive or before you go to bed, to help loosen and open things up. Now, if you don't have a corner, you can simply use the wall, all right? Any wall, just a flat wall. Take your arm, rest the pressure of your forearm on it, and then rotate your shoulders out to get the stretch across the chest here. And then do the same thing, bring your arm up, and then rotate the shoulder back to get that stretch into the pectoralis minor. That's how you do that against a flat wall. Again, you can do that against a door frame, works good. If you're in an open door, you put your arms on each side of it and just lean into the open doorway. Work with that consistently. I think you will find great results. We find great results with that very often with the patients in our office, simply by going through those stretches. If those stretches aren't helping you out, come into our office, let us assess things better to see where the compression is happening that's affecting your numbness. It may be coming more from the neck, it may be coming from another position in the extremities, and we can help to loosen and work out that compression to alleviate your symptoms if it's not able to get under control with these simple stretches that we showed you here. So thank you for joining me today. Hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you get some great results with these stretches. Good luck. Have a great day.